What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Wandavision video. We will be discussing the top 5 things that need to be answered ahead of the Wandavision finale this Friday. I know it only feels like yesterday we're examining the trailer in minute detail. However, the show has presented questions, answered them, and then debunked them all within the space of a few minutes or a week. It's like that Futurama episode with the Harlem Globetrotters where time just keeps skipping. Pietro was mentioned, came back as a Fox Universe X person, then was hinted at just being a puppet and nothing more. However, what are the 5 things the show needs to answer, or at least give a half answer to, in this season wrap up on Friday? Well, before we get into it, please do drop a like down below if you enjoyed the video, and do consider subscribing with notifications on, as we will have a bumper video this Friday around about 10 PM GMT, I believe, but it might be earlier or possibly later, depending how crazy this finale is. At number 1, who or what the heck is Pietro, as Agatha so elegantly put it? Many of us were beyond excited to see Evan Peters as Quicksilver, and it seemed obvious that the MCU had blown not only the multiverse wide open, but the idea of mutants, which we have wanted for so long, ever since the MCU's first inception. We had him turn up at the end of a very special episode, and he even took the kids trick-or-treating, although the episode after we had Wanda explain how he's not the kid's uncle and seems to be under the spell of Agatha protecting her sanctum noctorium. So what the heck is he? Well, when Wanda was under the house and in the basement, well, Agatha said that she absolutely possessed him and was the eyes, the ears, and the voice. So that explains him being a sassy person. But I think we have a situation where she has inadvertently brought someone in, not realizing he is indeed from the multiverse. I expect that it was a result of Agatha meddling with the Omega level powers that Wanda has. We need to know what is going on here, but setups in the MCU are seeded years before the final reveal. I mean, we had the Infinity Gauntlet in Odin's trophy room, only for Hela to say it was fake, so this could simply be a long play from the MCU to expand into Doctor Strange 2 and Spider-Man 3, both of which are going to have some weird multiverse craziness goings on. Not only is Quicksilver from Fox but bringing in the multiverse, but it's also confirming that there are confirmed mutants. So at number 2, Wandavision needs to confirm, or at least tease, that mutants are indeed real, and they're coming or already are in the MCU, which hopefully they'll answer if Monica Rambeau is a mutant too, as we know her body has changed drastically due to the Hex. We know that Wanda was something before being turbocharged due to an Infinity Stone, and that radiation has been passed down to Monica by way of going in and out of the Hex. I mean, each one of the people in the Hex could even be radiated into mutants. It's long been thought that the radiation from the Infinity Stones would cause mutants, and to be honest, there is no one perfect way to introduce the mutants and even the Fantastic Four, as there is a wealth of history due to their stories being intertwined with the major events already told in the MCU within the source material. If they decide to start the mutant history right here with Wanda and the original Scarlet Witch, her mother possibly being a mutant, then we could have the mutants be in hiding all this time and start to come out into the light, so to speak, due to mutants being created. The reverse of No More Mutants, that is. However, what needs to be answered is if Agatha was behind this all along and is the true big bad. I mean, TikTok thought that the Stalk was both Doctor Strange and Mephisto. I spent ages in Discord searching for hexagons in the other MCU properties, and of course Mephisto is still the lead theory among almost everyone, despite being completely memed. And to be honest here, there isn't actually that many concrete clues, besides Wanda's kids being born of the demon's fragmented soul in the comics, and the answer will, I expect, come from whatever book that is in Agatha's basement. However, we all got hyped that Reed Richards would appear, only for it to be a random soldier who, well, I still expect to be a Skrull, you know, but the book could be the Darkhold of the spells, and it's the opposite to Doctor Strange's Book of Vishanti, and the Darkhold was created by Sithon, who was sealed away in Wundagore Mountain, the place of birth of Wanda, who passed chaos magic onto Wanda herself. With a true heritage and chaos magic being spoken about, then I expect the Darkhold to play a big part here, and here's hoping that it confirms that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is full and proper MCU canon, considering that the Darkhold was in there, and even the Runaways as well. I would expect the magic part of the MCU to be expanded considerably, considering that Doctor Strange is being moved into an Iron Man kind of role as the leader of the MCU, so to speak. Then it's going to be a wild, magical ride. Now, with that in mind, we need to know if there is really a true multiverse like the comics. Of course, there are multiple countless Earths and multiverses, and multiverse is a next step from time travel in the comic book adaptation story playbook. Just look at the Arrowverse and now the DCEU. With Pietro coming in and the reveal now being murky, then it's worrying about the multiverse, and I think this is simply being set up to introduce casual viewers and fans to the idea of different characters and Earths. While I'm not expecting a Professor X or Magneto or even Miles Morales to swing in and go, hey, wait a minute, who are you? Yeah, I'm not expecting that, and I would like to know if we're going to get these opposite Earths, because it was very simple in the comic books with an Earth 1, an Earth 2, an Earth 3, and so on and so forth, Earth 616 being the prime comics universe, and each one having just slight changes. But I'm worried this is going to go a bit weird here. But yes, I expect that we will see where Pietro came from and how, or at least an explanation to Wanda by Doctor Strange, and that moves me into the next point, is where the heck are the Avengers, New Avengers, or whatever the heck they are, maybe the West Coast Avengers, and Doctor Strange? Considering it's been a big few weeks really since the Hex, then we have to wonder where any of the Avengers are, of course, and it's been a few weeks as well since Endgame, since it ended. So this means that they would still be reeling from what happened at the end, and 8 months later they're still very, very busy. The world looked a mess when Scott Lang returned, and I'd imagine the chaos of people returning after that means there's a lot of fires to be put out, and I'd assume that they thought that S.W.O.R.D. would have this handled. I'd expect that Doctor Strange at this point, after the Hex expanded, would head there with Wong to bring the mysticism out of the shadows to survive. One wildcard theory is that Jane Foster will debut, and the reason she has cancer in Love and Thunder will be due to the Hex radiation, or possibly her interaction with the Reality Stone, perhaps. But it might bring her there to get Darcy to help her out, and they could at least answer why any of Earth's mightiest heroes, plus Nick Fury, aren't there fixing this mess. But that's it for this video. Please do drop a like down below. Please do subscribe with notifications on, and I will see you on Friday for a big video. I'm taking Thursday off because, well, it's going to be a hell of a weekend with a lot of MCU videos. So I'll see you soon, and goodbye.